and welcome to 2026, otherwise known as episode 59 of Tomorrow's World Audit Time. Happy New Year, Mark.
Happy New Year. Here's a question. We were discussing a New Year's Day or New Year's Eve with my friends when we were up in Leeds. What is the next year? 2026 doesn't really sound futuristic.
Yeah, forgettable year, isn't it? Forgettable.
So what is the next year we go like, oh, that sounds like the future?
2030?
I was thinking something like 2038.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, yeah. But I was kind of thinking like, oh, actually we have a run of 2027, doesn't sound particularly futuristic. 2028 doesn't really sound futuristic. I was even thinking like 2030 still, it's only 4 years away. Doesn't sound or feel. So I was thinking actually it's a little bit into the next decade.
2030.
Before it feels like it's a... Yeah, 2035 maybe? Maybe that sounds quite... It just feels, when you say it, you go, ooh, that's ages away. It sounds like the future.
How old will we be then? 50? We'll be in our mid-50s, won't we?
We'll be in our mid-50s, Russ, yeah.
Blimey. I wonder how many episodes we've got through.
Unlike all our audience who are young whippersnappers, I'm sure.
How many episodes would we have got through by then, do you reckon?
Possibly another 100 and something.
Oh, wow.
Probably best not think about it, really. Oh, maybe I can add that as by 2035 we'll have done X number of episodes.
Oh, well, New Year, Mark. Same old.
Oh, that's to be fair, yeah. New year on new you, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't want to upset the horses, Mark. We've got a formula and we're going to stick to it.
Yep.
What's quite nice, though, with this episode, Mark, is our favourite thing, somebody other than us has decided what episode we're going to do.
Yes,
which I absolutely love. Takes all of the pressure off of us.
Yeah.
And gives us somebody to blame if it's a rubbish episode.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
So it's a friend of yours, but please explain what
it was. It was a friend IRL, wasn't it? Yeah. So actually, the very same. We were chatting about the future, and she was asking me how the podcast was going. Avid listener, my friend India. I said, "Oh, it's just going well. We're still really enjoying it. And, we actually have real people who actually really listen, so that's nice." And she goes, like, I've been thinking about it, and there's only one episode of Tomorrow's World I remember. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, that's hardly surprising, I suppose. Not everyone was as pop crazed as we were when it came to Tomorrow's World, right? She goes, yeah. It was like, I think it must have been a South Africa special, probably the end of the 90s. And I remember they had an inventor on who had invented flame-throwing hubcaps to kill or maim people who tried to carjack. I'll be honest with you, Russ, I was spectacularally non-believing. I thought that does not sound like Tomorrow's World at all, does it?
No.
There was a part of me thinking, I'm going to put a pin in this and I'll come back to this. And then immediately I thought, nope. So I immediately went onto the TV Genome project. And there it was, a genuine South African special from 1999 in which... there is an inventor who has invented a flame-throwing hubcaps for his car to maim or kill carjackers. And this is, I feel like we're almost spoiling the episode. But this is why we're here, my friend.
Yes. Yeah.
This actually happened.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing, we'll get into it when we get to the section, but I do remember this man and his flame-throwing BMW quite well. I think it was quite a big story at the time. But I didn't realise it had featured on Tomorrow's World.
No, it's a very on Tomorrow's World thing, isn't it? I don't see how this is optimistic about the future, which is kind of where it started, Tomorrow's World.
Yes,
but not where it finished.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I would say probably everything else around it doesn't quite live up to the excitement of
sadly
deadly weapons. But something to look forward to if you find yourself flagging in the early sections. No, obviously, yeah. So 5th of May 1999, South Africa special. I thought about talking about South Africa. But then, obviously, it's quite a big subject.
Yes.
Probably quite depressing in places and grim. Also, I thought it might paint the Dutch in quite a bad light. Obviously, and as a spokesman for the Netherlands.
Very brave of you, Ross. Very noble.
Yeah. I feel like I should be astroturfing for them at all times. So instead, I thought, well, what do we associate with South Africa, Mark, that I can just do a little introduction on? And I think there's one thing that we all know about South Africa, and it's this.
Diplomatic community.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that, Ross, absolutely. Diplomatic community.
As we all know, Mark, everybody in South Africa has got...
Diplomatic community.
Listeners at home, be relieved. He has not got a hotkey, I don't think. Or has he? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, Mark, I can press it as many times as I like.
Diplomatic community.
I made it specially.
I genuinely, there was a point in me, I was going to ask you, because I think I asked you a question in the chat. It's like, basically, I was trying to size you up, see how much you were going to say this phrase or not. Because I quite like the idea of you not saying it and like just alluding to it and just seeing if anyone at home bit
No.
on the inevitable range bait of like somebody not saying diplomatic, but instead you've hotkeyed it.
No,
So I think you've
yeah,
answered my question.
Yeah. So give us a shout if at any point you need anybody to say
Diplomatic community.
and I'll press the button. Yeah, so
It's not even a good South African accent.
well, this is the thing. There's 5 South African speaking parts in the film Lethal Weapon 2, from which the phrase diplomatic immunity comes from. Have a guess how many of those 5 people are actually South African.
Oh God. Well, I mean, the of the 5 people, the answer is either 7 or 0.
Yeah, 0. Yeah. Because you've got Joss Ackland, obviously, he's the main diplomatic immunity man. And then you've got his sort of like Aryan-looking, the bloke with the silenced pistol.
Yep.
That's a bloke called Derek O'Connor. He's Irish.
Derek O'Connor.
Yeah. And then you've got Patsy Kensit, obviously, is the love interest. She's English. You've got the bloke who crashes the car full of Krugerrands, who then gets shot on the plastic.
Yes.
That's a bloke called Mark Rolston. He's also English. And also was in Aliens, which I'd forgotten about.
Ooh.
And then the other bloke is the bloke called Jim Piddock, who plays the clerk in the embassy when Danny Glover goes into says he wants to apply for South African citizenship, and he goes, "But sir, you blick." He is also English as well. So everyone who plays a South African is either Irish or English. But then I was thinking, well, maybe were our South African actors boycotted at the time?
I was wondering that. In my head, I was thinking, like, I suppose there was probably cultural, But then again, anyway, go on then. What did you find out?
I didn't find that out, actually.
Okay.
I only thought.
I just thought.
Yeah. Anyway, that was.
They're probably all in the Netherlands, right?
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. But diplomatic immunity itself. Sorry, I meant
Diplomatic community.
Itself is an incredibly ancient concept, Mark. It goes back to in antiquity. There are the Indian epics that were written in the 7th century BC that talk about the concept of diplomatic immunity. Because everything back then was sort of like honour based, because you couldn't have international treaties or laws or anything like that. Yeah. So you just had to really strongly base things on honour instead, so that people would actually follow these rules. So there's occasions when people have gone against diplomatic immunity and they've got in big trouble. So the Spartans did it. There's a famous scene in 300 where he boots the ambassador down the well.
Whatever. Yeah. They did that.
Yeah, apparently that actually did happen Herodotus recorded it as happening in real life, but he claims that there was divine retribution upon the Spartans for doing that because they broke diplomatic immunity. And Genghis Khan, of all people, he was a massive proponent of the idea of diplomatic immunity, amazingly. If he'd send his diplomats in, I didn't even know he'd have diplomats. I thought he just took over everyone, but apparently he did have diplomats. Yeah. But if you sent them in somewhere and they got hurt or killed, he'd just turn up and just demolished whoever it was. He demolished an entire city, and in fact there was an entire empire, the Khwarezmid Empire, that he completely destroyed it just because they mistreated his ambassadors.
Wow.
So yeah, strong stuff. So in Britain, the concept of diplomatic immunity was coded into law in 1709 after a Russian diplomat got beaten up by some bailiffs in London. They thought, right, we better sign this into law to prevent that happening again.
Yep. It's
followed by almost everybody. So there's the one person who didn't follow it, Napoleon. Boo. But after he was beaten, there was a congress in Vienna where they established the codes of diplomacy, and then that sort of spread around the world, and it's basically been followed to this day. Even in World War II, everyone had diplomatic. Not everyone, but everyone involved. All the ambassadors all had diplomatic immunity. So it's a very closely followed thing. They had another conference in 1961 where everyone signed a treaty which sort of codified it into international law. And every country on earth has signed this, apart from Palau and South Sudan, for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
I guess South Sudan's quite a new country. Maybe they've not got around to it. I don't know what Palau are doing. But interestingly, a home country can waive... So if a diplomat commits a crime, a home country can waive his immunity so that he can get prosecuted by the host country.
So if your ambassador kills somebody abroad, you can say, actually, we are withdrawing their...
Yeah.
You can have at them.
Yeah.
They deserve justice, right?
But if you were the ambassador and you murder someone and you turned yourself in, if your home country didn't waive your immunity, you still be immune from prosecution. You can't get rid of your own.
Oh, you can't
remove your own immunity.
Yeah. I suppose you could be pressured into doing it, couldn't you?
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. And also you only have immunity when you're in your host country as well. So you can't just swan around the world doing what you like with this. Because there was a case in 2018 where the Iranian diplomat went on holiday somewhere. It was a diplomat based in Austria. And he was on the motorway in Germany, so they just pulled him over and arrested him because he technically was on holiday. So they could do that because he didn't have immunity in Germany. But obviously, the thing that I was interested in, and the thing that seems everyone else is interested in, is how many crimes do these people commit with their diplomatic immunity? And the Wikipedia article for diplomatic immunity is probably about 2 pages explaining what it is, and about 20 pages of the amount of crimes that they've all done. It's horrific. It's a horrific rap sheet of criminality, and most of it's like, not fun family entertainment. So I mean, there's a list of rapes, murders, domestic violence, slavery, dozens upon dozens of drink driving related deaths. But I did find a couple of fun ones. In 2021, 2 Pakistani diplomats who were based in Seoul, Korea, managed to get away with shoplifting one 70s worth of chocolate and a $10 hat. Because of diplomatic immunity. In 2014, Gambian diplomats in London were found to be selling, because obviously they don't have to pay tax. They're immune from tax as well. They were found to be selling tax-free fags out of the Gambian embassy. But in this case, I think possibly the Gambian government was so embarrassed by this that they
by the low rent,
that they did actually waive their immunity, and they got charged in Southwark Crown Court.
Good.
But obviously, the big one that quite often gets reported in newspapers is traffic violations.
Yes, we have an issue here in London with this.
Exactly. Yeah. So the 2 big cities I could find with the most biggest problem were New York and London. So New York has a problem with parking tickets because the UN's there. So, I think, people, they just pull up outside the UN and just leave their car there, I think, sometimes. Maybe if they're, late for a meeting. So the latest figure I could find was from 2016, which says they owed $16 million in unpaid parking tickets. And they found a significant correlation between how corrupt the country is and how many parking tickets they've got. So the top offenders at the time, probably still, were Kuwait, Egypt, Chad, Sudan, Bulgaria and Mozambique, all with more than 100 tickets each, apparently. They're investors. New York has tried to combat the problem because they've worked out that although they can't arrest the diplomats themselves, they can arrest their cars because cars don't have diplomatic immunity. So they've just started, if they see a diplomat's car, they just impound it rather than trying to put a ticket on it. But over in London, I've got a leaderboard here, Mark. Yeah. It's obviously the congestion charge is the problem rather than
it is. Which I believe that the argument is that it's a tax.
Yes, yeah.
And the Mayor of London said it's not a tax.
Yeah, it's a payment for a service.
Yes, exactly. It's a service, yeah.
But as of May 2024, TfL is owed £143 million. That's
a lot of money, isn't it?
In congestion charges. But I've got a top 5 here, Mark. Do you want to have a little go at the...
In at number 1, it's got to be the US, right?
Yeah, of course it's the US, yeah.
It's got to be the US.
They owe £14.5 million worth of congestion charges.
Whoa, that's so much money. Okay, yeah. China?
They're in at number 5 with £8 million.
Hey, I want to say the French. I'm trying to think who has a big enough embassy to have multiple cars. Oh, Saudi Arabia.
No.
Or the UAE.
No.
UAE?
Think bigger country. Bigger
countries. Russia.
No. Bigger. Well, not bigger in size, more people.
Oh, India.
Yes, India, mid-table, number 3, 8.5 million. I don't think you'll get number 2. I think number 2 is a surprise.
Oh, go on then.
Japan, 10 million.
Oh, I was thinking Japan, but they're such rule followers.
Yeah, exactly. I was surprised by that. And India, number 4 is Nigeria.
Nigeria,
yeah. That's the world of
diplomatic community.
Here, Mark.
Fun.
Why do you enjoy that as much as me? It's going to be absolutely...
Because I really hate that accent. I just think... Because I like doing it in South Africa. I just... my wife...
It is funny though, isn't it?
Please don't do it. But it is. It's such a fun accent. It's such a romantic accent.
But what's also...
It's a romantic accent. And it's fun to do.
Yeah.
So then when you hear someone do it and it's really bad, it's like, no matter... Turns out the more somebody presses a hotkey with an accent you don't like on it, the less fun it becomes.
But it's amazing the associations though, because that white South African accent is like it's really unpleasant. But if you hear a black South African accent, it's like a really lovely accent. It's a really lovely, friendly,
sing-songy quality to it. Yeah. The other word, of course, is cougarens. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. No, I just don't think I never loved that film as much as you did. but I don't think you loved that film. I think you just loved that particular bit. Yeah.
Oh, and also it's also the one that has where they put the bomb under the toilet, which is a classic action film moment. Yeah, so that's diplomatic immunity anyway. So shall we get on to some significant action?
Significant special.
Hello and welcome to a very special Tomorrow's World. This is South Africa.
It's a country where the latest developments are joining forces with the traditions of old.
Cape Town. We're at the start of an amazing journey across this vast country, finding out about the latest in science and technology here in South Africa. And this is the first stop.
We'll discover how the newest developments are building on the oldest traditions here. As this country continues its incredible transformation, we'll look at the role science has to play.
Modern medicine learns the secrets of traditional remedies in the search for a treatment for tuberculosis.
Extreme crime, extreme solutions. Meet the inventor whose shocking answer to stealing is to blast criminals.
And how traditional trackers are using office technology to help save South Africa's rhinos. The first part of our journey takes us to Cape Town's cricket stadium, Newlands. South Africa's sports mad, and they take their test matches very seriously.
We're here to see them play the West Indies. The South African team are a hot bet for the World Cup, but here the search is already on for the next generation of great cricketing heroes. A bowler to match the likes of the West Indies, Curtly Ambrose.
In the old apartheid era, black and coloured players weren't allowed anywhere near the national teams. But in this new era for South Africa, a much more level playing field is being slowly introduced so that players of all colours can rise through to the highest ranks of cricket.
Now, every team needs a couple of very good fast bowlers to win matches. And to help the country's youth achieve this, South Africa is turning increasingly to science to help build the next army of cricketing champions. They're scouring the townships for the raw black talent that might give South Africa a new bowling hero. I'm here for a local practice session in Langa, where teenagers like Simpiwe have got big hopes for the future. What is your dream? What is your big dream?
My big dream is to be playing for South Africa. I wish I could play for the national team, you see.
The trouble is, in the past, young fast bowlers in the townships have had little training, and great bowling talent was often crippled early by back injury. If your bowling action is wrong, you can twist and damage your back. Sports scientists know this, but they have never properly analysed bowling action to work out which factors can make bowling damaging. Here in Cape Town, they're pioneering a new project to do just that. Janine Gray works regularly with the South African national squad. Now she's mustering technology to help the bowlers from the townships. This includes cameras which pump out infrared light, and bizarrely, the technology also involves decorating your body with white luminous balls. This is the first time a system like this one has been used for cricket anywhere in the world. There are 6 cameras like this one strategically placed down the crease. These little balls reflect the light back to the cameras. That's then sent to the computer, and it uses these reflective markers to track my movements as I bowl the ball. Because there are 6 camera angles, the data can be captured in 3D. This helps Janine discover far more about the enormous forces acting on Simpiwe. She thinks her method can analyse any problem, catch it early and help prevent injury.
We actually have a picture of the young bowlers bowling. We look at various angles of foot placement, shoulder alignment, pelvic alignment to fully understand the stresses that are placed on the lower back in doing so.
The main thing Janine is looking at is how the back rotates during bowling, because this causes the real damage. It seems like a rather expensive and troublesome way to see how a bowler bowls. Surely you can see by just watching a bowl.
Not really, no. What happens in the delivery stride happens within a second. And a lot of the important rotation, shear forces which happen at the back cannot be seen with the naked eye. Superior, he has a fantastic action. He has a classic side-on action, which means there's very little rotation happening at his lumbar spine.
Right, so it's all pretty steady, nothing roughing or pulling, the ball's going smoothly.
That's it.
Good news for St. Pee-wee, but if players are bowling incorrectly, she can correct the problem with their coaches. Janine is taking her work on from here, and over the next 5 years we'll be closely studying a group of young fast bowlers, helping them avoid serious injury early in their careers, and maybe even giving them the chance to play test match cricket in an incredible ground like Newlands.
Now, Mark, before we start with anything here, I just want to explain something so that nobody at home thinks that Philippa Forrester is a massive racist.
Oh, yes, please do, yeah. She's not.
She's not?
We think.
Well, I mean, certainly... no, of course she's not, Mark.
No,
How dare you? But she does refer to coloured people in this, which obviously sounds like something a racist would say. However, that is actually the officially designated term in South Africa, which it relates to people who originally came over from the Indian subcontinent and immigrated to South Africa, and they are officially designated as coloured people. So that's not Philippa being a racist. She probably could.
No,
she probably should have explained it maybe a bit, because if you don't know anything about South Africa, that does sound a bit racist.
To be honest, I couldn't help but think it's like you just need to say non-white and then you avoid all the issues, right?
Yeah.
But yes, no, I mean, I was quite taken aback, and then I remembered that there was this. That there obviously, any system's got to have rules, right, and a policy, and I'm sure there were lots of. Anyway, I'm not going to dress it up, but obviously, then you remember, then there were different definitions of different groupings because a system like that needs defining, doesn't it, in order to be effective. My issue actually was the idea that is right at the beginning, just before that, where he says. In the old, she says, in the old apartheid era, black and coloured players weren't allowed anywhere near the national teams, but in this new era for South Africa, etc., apartheid only officially ended 5 years before this episode. They make it sound like it has. It's like, oh my god, can you even? It's like it's. I mean, not just is it in living memory. It's like, but half the people they would have interviewed in this either benefited or were disenfranchised by apartheid up until relatively recently. And I know, obviously, the New Republic came in '94. But even some of the laws that they kind of cancelled didn't really take, they were saying, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this in a couple of years' time, kind of thing. Yeah. And it only really genuinely entirely stopped in about '94. So it's not that. Yeah,
that's when the first elections were, wasn't it? The first.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is when the proper cleavage between then and now. But they didn't rush to scrap it. Yeah, it was just a weird way of passing it. There is so much optimism about South Africa in this, which is lovely. I mean, it really was. But you can't help but feeling it's like he's slightly over-egging the pudding. They really do make South Africa sound like it's a incredibly futuristic place about to explode with innovation. And then when you actually see what they're doing, it's a bit like, oh no, you're just improving things.
Yeah.
You have specific South African problems, and this is your specific approach to it. Which I don't know. It's oddly. It does almost feel like they heard about the flamethrowing car and then they tried to put together stuff either side of it.
Who can blame them, Mark? Who can blame them?
I know. I'm not criticising it, but yeah.
Cricket, Mark. Obviously, not a huge interest of mine. Massive interest of my father's. He'll be very excited to see some cricket going on in this.
Good.
But obviously,
especially after the recent Ashes, I'm sure any excitement he can get is no bad thing, right?
Obviously, being a Dutch colony, cricket didn't arrive there initially. The Dutch settled it in 1652. But with this typical Dutch thing, they were the first people. They did this with Australia, New Zealand, and parts of America. They did this thing where they'd be there first, and then they'd either wander off or just get beaten out, and then we just go in and take it over. So this is exactly what happened with South Africa. They colonised it in 1652, and then Napoleon invaded the Netherlands in 1795. So while they were having to deal with that, the British went, oh, we'll have that, and just popped over to South Africa and just took it over. And ever since then, well, not ever since then, but for hundreds of years after that, it was
5-second rule.
Yeah, exactly. It became a British colony, and then from then on, they were obviously able to play cricket there. The first recorded cricket match took place in 1808 in Cape Town between two groups of servicemen. But the South African cricket team was pretty decent, and they reckoned that up in the 60s they were probably the best team in the world, like even beating the Australians. But unfortunately, then everyone realised that apartheid was a bad idea. And you think, I wonder if maybe all the other cricket teams got together and decided that apartheid was a bad idea, just as the South Africans got really good.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just coincidentally.
Yeah. So they banned South Africa from international competition between 1970 and 1991. So actually, so cricket's back on the scene again as an international. So now South Africa is all fine and all racism has been conquered. They can, cricket can come back out in this and they can get a more mixed team. I did look up how do they pronounce it. Simpiwe, I think it's Simpiwe Mkaza, who's this young lad who's basically their guinea pig, isn't he, for this?
Yeah.
For the bowling action. And unfortunately, I don't think he did become a international cricketer.
He had quite a nice bowling technique to him.
He did, but I did find him on Facebook, and it looks like he was on television again because look at him in that get-up at the bottom of the document there, Mark.
Well, do you know, I've actually not looked at the pictures this time. Oh wow, that's an impressive outfit.
So that's like a photograph of a TV screen. So he must have appeared on TV and so. I don't know what you'd call that. It's a very colourful sort of tribal type outfit with singing. And then there's a picture of him in his day job. He's working on a construction site there with his builder's hat on. So that's where he got into, construction by the looks of it. They're sticking balls to him. It's mocap again, Mark. We've had mocap before. We had mocap in the Hollywood episode.
We did.
Which was...
the Godzilla special.
Yeah, the Godzilla special. Which was in 1998, so the previous year to this episode. But also involved with Craig Doyle. So I think Craig Doyle is now our official Tomorrow's World's mocap expert.
Most caps.
Yeah.
But bizarrely, he acts like we've never seen this before, or that he's never seen it before, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
he describes it like we're all idiots.
I guess they just have to assume that every episode of Tomorrow's World is new to people.
Well, certainly this era of Tomorrow's World assumes we're all idiots, but
yeah, but they can't assume that everyone's seen every episode. You know what I mean? So it might be new to other people. The problem with all of these, we'll find with all of these segments on this programme, is that we don't really see a huge amount of the actual thing that they're talking about. You get a lot of chat with people, hear their story, and then you get a very brief, very shallow view of actually what the thing is, and then it's over. Like this segment, for example, is just over 4 minutes long, and I think they spend only the last minute showing us the actual device and what's going on, and we don't really see it in depth. We just see a computer screen, and the mocap. I mean, it's clearly working. You see the mocap little stickman bowling and that.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you do. Yeah, the actual mocap is working.
Yeah,
I found this quite frustrating because, as I said to you, it's like it would have been great if they'd spend the time like Craig Doyle bowls. He's not bad. He's good amateur. He knows what he's doing. He's clearly done it before. And then you have some Pee-wee. If they kind of showed the difference in their techniques through the mocap and then explained what they would learn, what they would do with Craig to make sure that he wasn't breaking his back. That would have been really interesting. You would have actually learned why they were doing it. Really, this is actually more about mocap than it is the actual execution of the mocap. It just feels so limp.
Yeah. But everyone was talking about mocap back then. Right? I mean, it was big stuff. So that wouldn't. I don't think that would surprise many people viewing at home what mocap was. So we need to see why it's particularly good for this thing, isn't it? Oh, and did you notice that the assistant looked like there's a third person there who's an assistant who never speaks?
No.
Hang on, let me find him.
I didn't. Yeah.
Where is he? The bloke attaching the balls to him, and he looks.
Oh right, yeah.
From an angle, doesn't he look like Stephen Miller, the horrible right-wing American?
Oh yes, the deputy chief of staff. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of anyway. So you got old Dr. Janine Gray, who sounds a bit like one of the X-Men. Very Dutch-looking lady. But she's still working in sports science, Mark. This field of study is known as biomechanics. She's still working on it in South Africa. She's got a PhD in 2015, and the title of her paper was the etiology. I've never heard that word before, but it means cause. So I looked it up. The etiology of lower back pain in cricket fast bowlers. So, still working on this stuff. And she also helped organise the World Congress of Science and Medicine in Cricket. So, she knows her stuff.
Oh, well done, her.
And I thought, well, do they do anything different these days?
Yes.
I found the National Cricket Performance Centre in Luga-Baruga.
Of course, naturally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I find it impossible to say Loughborough without saying Luga-Baruga. I don't know about you, Mark.
No, much the same, yeah.
And they had a little video. I won't show it to you, it's not very interesting. But they had a little video on their website showing you how they did this. And do you know what they do, Mark?
Same thing.
They attach little balls to everyone, and they stand there and they play cricket in their pants with little balls all stuck all over them. The only difference is that the image on the computer screen is obviously much more detailed and clear.
Yes,
and but other than that, it's an identical process.
Very good.
So yeah. I mean, is there anything else we could say about this segment, Mark?
No, I'm genuinely impressed that we're still talking about it. That you've discovered that much, because there's barely anything in it, right?
Gossamer
Thin. This is one of the most detailed segments in the entire show.
We're leaving Cape Town behind now on the first leg of our journey across South Africa.
We're travelling on board the country's most famous train. It's called the Blue Train, and it's heading northeast. We leave the coast behind as we head out through the mountains and vineyards into the Karoo Desert. Here in southern Africa, bushmen have been tracking animals, studying and reading their footprints for thousands of years. But as their communities develop, this art is dying out as it's no longer being passed on from one generation to the next. Well, now space-age technology is coming to the rescue of this dying practice and helping endangered species at the same time. It's being pioneered here in the Karoo Desert. This national park is home to all kinds of animals, but some of them are hard to find, including the endangered black rhino. Louis Liebenberg can tell a lot about animals and what they get up to just by the traces they leave. He's learnt the ancient art of tracking and wants to make sure it doesn't die out. He thinks tracking can be used to help tell us a lot about animal behaviour. Out on a hike, Louis shows me evidence of a lizard that's been eating tortoise eggs.
See below the tail marks and the claws marks here?
I see, where his tail swept the ground.
Yeah. Okay. And it actually can identify the species of animal. You can say what it was doing from the way it was moving. It started digging up the eggs here.
So you can actually tell what an animal's been doing from tracking it?
Yeah. On this day, at this particular point, a rock lizard ate the tortoise shells here.
Because the eggs are still fresh, Louis is convinced they're a recent lunch, so says we can track the lizard itself by following its footprints. So this is him. This is who we've been tracking. Who's got a belly full of eggs. Louis believes a huge amount of information about animal behaviour could be gathered from tracks, but he can't do that on his own, so he's turning to people working in the park who already have the traditional skills of the tracker. Nobody is able to take advantage of their knowledge at the moment because it's been difficult to record what they find, but Louis is finding a way to help them. Louis is turning to technology. He's using one of these, a palm-top computer. Now, back at home, we'd use this kind of thing for diaries, appointments, telephone numbers, that sort of thing. But Louis is reprogramming them for the trackers so that they can use their skills to new purposes, like monitoring animals. JJ is one of the first trackers to be given a palm-top computer Louis has customised. He can now use it to note sightings or tracks and record animal behaviour. So JJ, you're using it. What kind of questions does it ask you?
When you see the animal or when you're tracking, and what kind of an animal do you see? That you just touch this. They ask you what the female of a male, and you touch that one. They ask you is it running or they feeding or they whatever they do, and they take a GPS reading, and that's it.
A global positioning satellite system means that JJ can store the exact position of any track. So this palm-top computer can help look after endangered species by recording what animals are up to from their tracks without actually having to see them. JJ's keeping track on a black rhino. So, begin?
Yes.
He lets me have a go inputting our finding.
And pictures of animals, okay, so you can tell which one the rhino is. Okay, and what was he doing at the time? Just walking. And now the GPS is activated.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
The rhino JJ is tracking is new to the park, and he's building a complex picture of its habits from his day-to-day tracking with this system. So we head back to base to add today's information about the rhino to the computer.
What's quite interesting is that he's been feeding in areas where the other rhinos have not been feeding, and also different plant species. So it seems that he's still trying to find his way around.
So because he's new, he's kind of experimenting?
Yeah.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's actually quite interesting because it's a new rhino in a new environment, so it's quite important to monitor it quite intensively.
So you're going to have to keep an eye on him to check he's getting a good enough diet?
Yeah.
And you'd never have known that without that information?
No.
Great thing about this system is that normally a biologist would only come into the park about 5 days a year to study one particular species. But this way, trackers like JJ are on the ground making hundreds of observations about lots of different types of animals every day. So conservationists have masses more information to work on when they're making important decisions about how to manage the wildlife.
Do you ever know anybody with a PalmPilot, Mark?
My dad had one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Wow,
yeah.
very
I
flash.
thought you'd never ask.
How very flash.
He had both kinds. He had the kind that we see here, which is the kind of the more tablet one with the stylus.
Yeah.
But he also had the was it the British one? I can't remember what they were called, which was kind of like a rectangular thing, like a pencil case that opened up to have a little screen and a keyboard.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
A Scion?
It's weird.
Was it a Scion?
Yes, that's exactly
Scion,
well
yeah,
remembered.
yeah,
He had one of those. I thought the Scion was so brilliant. Partly because just the way it opened was incredibly satisfying. Yeah, he had both. I don't know if he ever really used them properly. I remember playing with them and realizing that they were futuristic, but also realizing that they were crap. Like it was, I don't know what you expect, but it was more like I suppose the disconnect between that and your desktop that you had on the dining table and in the dining room or whatever was just so vast in terms of like even just the display that you could feel like this is the technology was way behind where they wanted it to go. And my dad did use it for diary points,
tracking rhinos.
And tracking rhino shit, yeah. Throughout the city of London. Yeah. He came home very depressed every day. Barely found any. But he explained to me, it's like, what he realised a long time was like, he was given it as a kind of like, oh, here, now you can, because I don't think I'm not even sure they took emails, but like you could have your diary on it, your calendar and stuff like that. Yeah. But like he basically would spend the evening typing up his calendar for the following day, so it was on it.
Right.
Like you wouldn't use it to enter because it was just so sluggish.
Yeah.
And it was one of those ones that tried to pretend that you could write and you just couldn't.
Yeah. I do think whoever came up with the PalmPilot, they must have thought, just if technology was a little bit further ahead, they could have invented the iPhone, a decade earlier than everyone else because it all seems to be there. It's got GPS, it's got a screen, you can store stuff on it, but it's just not quite there. But but
you can feel it really, really pushing at the very edges of what is doable, but like just like it just being realistic. It's really. Yeah. And now look at us.
I did look up the PalmPilot. I was slightly intrigued. It was the first launched in '96, but this model that Philippa's got here is '97. It's the one she's got there is either a PalmPilot Pro or a PalmPilot Personal. They look the same, but they're different memory.
Gosh, I think my dad might have had a Pro.
They're different memory. So the Pro had 1 megabyte of memory, and the Personal only had half a megabyte of memory.
Yeah.
The Pro was $399, which is $800 in modern money. And the Personal was $299, which is $600 in modern money. They actually had to stop calling them PalmPilots in 1998 because the Pilot ballpoint pen company sued them and said you can't use the word pilot, and they won. So after that, they were just called Palms. But because everyone was so used to calling them PalmPilots, everyone just continued to call them PalmPilots forevermore. Because it's a nice thing to say, isn't it? PalmPilot.
Yeah, it is nice.
But the most interesting thing about PalmPilots I found out is that to this day, IMAX projectors run on them. So there's a thing in the IMAX projector called the quick turn reel unit. It's the thing that basically switches between the reels. Like when because obviously if you've got film, you've got multiple reels for a film. And one of the computer controls that is a PalmPilot. It's a 2002 PalmPilot M130. Now, that's all fine, but then when the film Oppenheimer came out, they had a problem because IMAX projectors were only built to be able to carry a maximum of 150 minutes of film, and Oppenheimer is 180 minutes. So they had to redesign the reel holder thing that plays the film. But because all of the IMAX projectionists are so used to using PalmPilots, the IMAX engineers got small Windows tablets and programmed them with an emulator to make them look like a PalmPilot.
That is mad.
So IMAX projectors now, the modern ones, don't actually run on PalmPilots, but they run on fake PalmPilots that are running off of Windows tablets.
So mad.
Yeah.
I went to the IMAX just before Christmas, and the idea that experience was built on a PalmPilot emulator is one of the most mind-blowing things I will now think about when I think about that film.
Do you know how much Oppenheimer weighs? The IMAX film of Oppenheimer. How much it weighs?
Yeah, no.
It's 11 miles long, and it weighs 270 kilos.
That's a lot of kilograms. That's a lot of kilograms. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Jeez,
bloody, what's his name? Nolan putting these poor projectors back out, lifting all these reels up. But anyway, so this segment starts with them getting on the blue train.
The blue train.
Have you ever been on the blue? Have you ever heard of the blue train? I've never heard of the blue train.
I have not heard of the blue train, which is South Africa's most famous train, right?
Yeah. I mean, it turns out that I don't know much about South Africa. I mean, it's mainly Nelson Mandela and the diplomatic community, really.
Yeah. Because you don't even follow sports, right?
No.
You wouldn't even, yeah.
I have to say, from the exterior of the blue train, it looked like a pretty bog standard train to me. I don't know about you. We don't see it. It's barely touched upon. I swear it's an advert. Go on. It is one of the most luxurious trains in the world. I've got some pictures. Put some pictures of the interior at the bottom there, Mark.
It looks lovely.
Doesn't that look nice? Look at that. That's your own sofa sitting by the window there, near that lovely dining carriage. Oh, great. Yeah. You have a great sort of murder on there, couldn't you? A murder mystery.
I do agree with your note, though. Like, I have always liked the idea of a long luxury train journey.
Oh, yeah. It would be nice, wouldn't it?
There's one I came across a video of, which is the Andean Explorer, which is like South America's best one. It's like, that looks so amazing. And then you find out how much it costs, and you're like, can't really justify $4,500 for 2 nights or something.
Well, yeah, here's the thing, Mark. Yeah. So, lovely service. You've got butler service, lounge cars, observation car, gold-tinted picture windows, soundproofed, fully carpeted compartments, each with its own ensuite bathroom with a full-size bathtub. However, a one-way ticket, which is a 990-mile journey between Pretoria and Cape Town, which takes 27 hours.
Okay. So it's only a day, right? A day and a night.
That'll cost you 63,420 rand, which is £2,869.
You are getting the accommodation though, aren't you? That's so expensive. Is that per cabin or is that per person?
That's per person. So
Fuck.
And a cabin is 2 people. So you have to pay for a minimum of 2 people. So you double that. Even if you went on your own, you'd have to double that.
Bloody hell. That's so expensive.
So it certainly puts annual train price rises into perspective.
Yeah, the £6.40 I have to pay every day to get to and from Enfield doesn't seem quite as expensive now.
One thing I was noticed when I used to do that job where I had to read the newspapers all the time.
Oh, yes.
Whenever there was the annual rail price rise in January, every single year without fail, the rail price rise was always referred to as a kick in the teeth. It was always a kick in the teeth. Yeah. Nothing else ever was a kick in the teeth apart from the annual rail price rise, which was always a kick in the teeth. Without fail, Mark. I mean, this is a boot in the face. This 2096. But notable, famous celebrity passengers on board, Mark. Mm-hmm. Nelson Mandela. Of course. Naturally. I imagine Nelson Mandela's been on every single ride and activity in South Africa, hasn't he, presumably?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He's been on every ride in South Africa. Yeah.
Quincy Jones, Paul Simon, Mia Farrow, Maggie Thatcher, and Kylie Minogue.
Wow. Together?
I don't know.
Forever?
I don't know.
Together at last?
That'd be quite an interesting train journey, wouldn't it? So, yeah, they get the blue train. Not really touched upon, but I thought I'd just explain it anyway. Because it may be an advert for the blue train, secretly, this whole thing.
I feel like it is, because there's absolutely no reason for them to mention it. I just don't believe.
And also, they're driving around in a Land Rover for most of it as well.
Exactly,
so
correct.
they probably drove there in their Land Rover.
Yeah, they did not use this, so it just feels like it's some kind of weird ad.
Yeah. Anyway, they apparently get the train to Karoo National Park, which is no longer a destination for the blue train, by the way. You used to be able to do it, but you can't anymore. Karoo National Park, lovely place. It is home to springbok, gemsbok, black wildebeest, Cape Mountain zebra, red hartebeest, black rhinoceros, eland, kudu, klipspringer, bat-eared foxes, black-backed jackal, ostriches, lions, riverine rabbit, Verou's eagles, martial eagles, booted eagles, Cape eagle owl, 5 tortoise species, which is the most species of tortoise in one place in the world, and a thing called a row quagga, which is because there's an animal. Used to be an animal called the quagga, which is like looked like a bit like a zebra, but wasn't. Now that went extinct. The last one ever died in Amsterdam Zoo in 1883. But they've got this thing called backbreeding, where they get zebras and they selectively breed them and try and express the genes of their ancestors. And that's what they produce, this thing called a row quagga. So it looks like, they think it looks and behaves like how a quagga would have done if they still existed. So that's there. So this is the case, Mark, where I think they kind of buried something that's more interesting than they show. So we see... You've got
not just the name of one of the people.
You've got Louis Liebenberg.
Yeah,
he's
a nice chap.
Yeah. He's like basically the South African Crocodile Dundee. Really, he's going around tracking his animals and stuff. And then he's got his mate who's helping him, who's actually probably doing the main bit of tracking. He's the one who actually shows Philippa how to use the PalmPilot.
Yeah,
who has the most tremendous name of James J.J. Minge.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not pronounced like that. I'm sure it's Mingay, but it comes up on the screen.
It's definitely spelt Minge.
James J.J. Minge, which I think is probably the best comedy name we've had on the program so far.
I can't think of a better one so far, but luckily we have a few more episodes to troll through.
Yeah.
I don't know. We might have had a Gaylord or something like that, but
yeah. But yeah, so he's basically going around, and But the clue here, Mark, is that we noticed. There's no words on that tracker.
No, it's all pictures.
It's all pictures. And that's a reason. So Louis Liebenberg is actually quite an interesting man. So he went to university in Cape Town in 1980, and he was doing science and maths and stuff. And he decided that I don't know how he came to this conclusion, but he decided that all of human scientific endeavour is originally based on tracking. So he became obsessed with the idea of becoming a tracker. So he wanted to write a book about it. But obviously he needed to learn how to track. So he decided he was going to go and live with Bushmen in the Kalahari. But obviously he grew up under apartheid. So apparently up until the age of 21, he had never had any contact with a black person. I don't know how he'd managed to do that. I mean, you would think they'd like servants or something like that. No. But he claimed to never even so much as talk to a black person until the age of 21. And then he tells his parents and his girlfriend, "Oh, I'm going to go and live with a tribe in the Kalahari." They weren't happy apparently, but he did. He did it anyway. Good on him, I say. And he spent 10 years with these Bushmen, learning how to track and stuff. They go away for weeks and months into the bush, just subsisting on roots and berries and porcupines, apparently. And large rats. And while he was doing this, he still had his scientist brain on. And he realised that, oh, hang on, these Bushmen are basically absorbing huge amounts of data when they're doing this tracking. If we could store the data on a little computer, then we can actually use it for proper scientific studies. Went and found a computer software bloke, got him to program this program, put it on a PalmPilot. And he won, first of all, Rolex gave him a $50,000 conservation award. And then because of the publicity of that, EC turned up and gave him a €2 million grant to pursue this, which is loads of money for some Crocodile Dundee fella who had this random idea.
It is a really elegant leap, isn't it?
Yeah.
The idea of kind of like, well, if you're going to do it anyway, how about we record it and then it's it's providing an additional purpose. It is smart. Like, it's a good idea. I don't know if it's worth over $2 million
of EU gravy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the key thing that isn't touched on in this piece, the whole thing that he recently came up with this thing, and the reason there are no words on it, is that he's designed it to be used by indigenous people.
Yes.
So James J.J. Minge, who interestingly his name is spelled differently on Louis Liebenberg's actual site. So Louis Liebenberg still runs this non-profit organisation called Cybertracker, which is based on this original technology. Obviously, it's a modern version now, and it's got the story of James J.J. I'm going to continue calling him James J.J. Minge, even though it's pronounced it's spelled Minier on the official website,
which I'm assuming is correct.
It's got this thing. It says, if the art of tracking was the origin of science, then modern-day trackers should be able to do science. However, some of the best indigenous trackers in Africa cannot read or write. The Cybertracker icon user interface for non-literate trackers was developed in 1996 with the help of Carol Benadi and James J.J. Minge. They tracked the highly endangered black rhino, recording their movements and behaviour in minute detail, and together they published a paper on rhino feeding behaviour. This is perhaps the first scientific paper based on data gathered by people who can't read and write.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And it confirmed the hypothesis that they'd put forward about how rhinos feed. So it was a demonstration that people don't need to be able to read and write to be able to be scientists, which I think is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Sort of angle, which is not touched upon in this segment at all. So yeah, all we see is a big lizard that's eaten some eggs and done a poo.
Yeah.
And some rhinos and stuff.
Yeah. Be grateful. Yeah. You should be grateful, Russell. How dare you?
But I don't know, it just annoys me. That just seems like the obvious angle to me. Maybe they thought it. Do you think
that's the development, right? That's the kind of the secret ingredient is the sophisticated, non-patronizing understanding of making it a kind of a image-based system, so that people who don't speak English or indeed can read or write are able to utilize this tool and increase our collective knowledge of and understanding of animals. That is what's important about this.
Yeah.
And that's not what we get at all.
Yeah. And if you look at the bear down the pictures again, Mark, they had a map on the Cybertracker website of...
Oh, is that what this is?
So that's all the places it's been used. So all over the world, there's like pictures, and there's like Aborigines in Australia using it, and, people like indigenous people in the Amazon using it and stuff like that. So, it's a great idea. Right?
Yeah.
And they don't make any profit from it. All they do is they charge a little bit of money to store information on their servers. But it's $2 per 1,000 readings. So it's pretty cheap, Mark. It's not like they're not ripping off these.
No.
These fellas. It's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying, Mark.
Frustrating, right?
Because not everyone viewing at home is gonna. Well, especially in 1999, they're not going to have the internet. They're not going to be able to go on the internet, look all this stuff up, and find all this stuff out.
I did spot that it was pictures, and I did wonder in my head, was that because not everyone speaks English, or was that because like the PalmPilot was more limited than that I remember? So like to know that it wasn't just deliberate, but that it was a way of kind of opening up technology to the greatest number of experts who could use it. I mean, that's genuinely quite interesting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the BBC were just so blinded by the wonders of the PalmPilot that they couldn't see past that. I don't know. Oh, and the other thing it's been useful for is that when there's an Ebola outbreak, animal populations drop, because obviously animals can get Ebola as well. So it's been useful in tracking Ebola outbreaks that have happened in recent years as well, because they go, the animals are dropping. Might be some Ebola.
I didn't know that.
Is there any chance of? I was wondering about Ebola. It sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Yes.
Is it possible that it could ever spread to Europe, I don't know anything about Ebola, to be honest. I didn't research it.
Let's assume not.
Okay, yeah. That's probably best, isn't it?
Yeah, no. It's too cold, Russ. It's too cold.
Oh, thank God for that. Well, I'll tell you what's not too cold, Mark.
Very good.
Still to come on this special Tomorrow's World, could one of these local plants be the key in the global fight against a killer disease?
And building a game park from scratch, meet the elephants who've been moved from one end of South Africa to the other.
But first, we travel to the crime capital of the world, Johannesburg. This city has seen a massive explosion in crime. In the last 4 years, robbery has doubled and the number of assaults has risen by 40%. In fact, you're 8 times more likely to be murdered in South Africa than in America. This police video shows the common crime of car hijacking. A 3-man gang surround a car at a road junction in broad daylight, threaten the driver with a gun, then get in and force him to drive off. This driver was later fortunate to escape unharmed, but it's crimes like these which are fueling fear in the city.
It's quite sad that it becomes almost natural that you have to always think about crime before taking a step.
When I go to the office at night, I have a .38 revolver, and I mean, if God forbid someone tries it, I'll just shoot him through the door.
No, they broke into the house and they take the furniture.
Tension is heightened by locals being constantly bombarded with stories of terrible crimes.
Even the local paper has a daily crime page, which makes quite horrific reading. A man here shot in his home by an intruder. Another guy here shot 4 times just for his mobile phone. It's a situation that's causing people to panic and driving many to more extreme measures to fight this spectre of crime.
New devices are being developed here to fight back. I'm heading off to meet one inventor who is extremely concerned about all the crime stories he reads. Former lawyer Charles Fourie is taking the law into his own hands. He's inventing new devices to deal with this crime wave.
He's come up with a burglary prevention system for his house. But it's not just an alarm. It's a device which can cause serious injury. Here, the future meets the past, harking back to the days when castles were protected by pots of flaming tar.
Inside this briefcase is what Charles Fourie calls a mobile home protection device. Once set, a primitive motion sensor detects any movement and triggers this massive gas jet flame.
What exactly is this?
This is a house unit to protect the person in your house. Works as follows. Electrical unit that gives a spark here on the nozzle. Solenoid valve on top of this gas bottle will open. Liquid gas will flow through these pipes, exiting here, giving you a ball of fire that will incapacitate any intruder in the house.
It's a flamethrower in a briefcase.
Exactly.
Such a system seems horrific to me. A device like this could cause serious burns. I find it depressing that he feels the crime situation is this bad. But what's more, Charles Fourie believes this technology could be taken out on the road.
This is no ordinary car. It's a weapon. And some people, like Charles Fourie, will tell you it's a necessary weapon for self-defense. Whatever it is, it's potentially lethal.
This device aims to stop a car hijacking. A high-voltage spark ignites gas from a tank stored in the boot. A foot pedal triggers the system. Fourie assures me the paintwork isn't damaged. My concern is about the harm that could be done to people on the street. However, he thinks this is the correct response to crime.
If you drive in your driver or your wife drive there and you're on the verge of being attacked and raped, would you or would you not prefer your wife to have the system in a car? And your obvious answer is yes. And if you're against the system, you're actually fighting for the criminals.
Is it legal?
Perfectly legal. The very first person to have installed this in the car is Superintendent David Walkley. He's the head of crime intelligence of the South African Police for the Johannesburg area. And he stated many, many times that if used in self-defense, it's perfectly legal.
It's very doubtful that in Britain such a device would be legal, necessary or welcome. But what do the locals think of it, given the fear of violent crime?
In the first place, I would need to know, won't it have any effect on the car?
No, it won't affect the car, only the person trying to rob it.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
I just think it's a bit extreme, you know. It would worry me, you know, the sort of getting to that sort of stage. But then if I had been hijacked, maybe I would change my mind.
Do they work?
Well, they burn the person who's trying to steal from you.
Well, if they work, that will be fine. It's nice to have something like that.
But not everyone thinks this is such a good idea. Graham Simpson counsels victims of violent crime every day. He feels criminals will take even more violent steps to avoid such devices.
New technology, I think, will potentially result in new preventive measures from criminals. If I was a criminal and I knew that someone potentially was going to toast me when I tried to steal their vehicle, I'd probably take them out before they got a chance. I think we're going to see more violence, not less.
Well, Mark, it's what everyone's been waiting for. I hope your friend is suitably enthralled by that.
I'm sure she is. Wow.
What a nutter Charles Fourie is. You were talking earlier about perhaps some people being disenfranchised by the fall of apartheid.
Yes,
I think there's suspect number one immediately there. Charles Fourie seems like a very unhinged man.
Resentful man.
Yeah, doesn't he?
I don't like psychoanalyzing people, not least because I'm not a psychoanalyst, but you struggle not to really think strongly about his motivations.
Yeah.
And I think if he had a personal story about how someone close to him had died or been attacked or he absolutely would be telling you he's a salesman. That's the first thing he'd tell you, right? To create that emotional connection. In the absence of that, and the fact that he seems kind of like wistfully proud of his inventions, there is no story. This is just pure, this is fueled by personal resentment, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? He wants revenge.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that at the beginning, when Craig's setting the scene, he says that South Africa has a really high murder rate, and as a comparator, he goes even higher than America, which obviously we all know America's the
you're 8 times more likely to be murdered in South Africa than in America.
Yeah, that's how bad it is.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. But I feel like Charles Fourie's argument is that exact same argument that all Americans say. That sort of the only way to stop a man with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Like it's like the idea.
The only way to stop a bad man with a gun.
Yeah. Like the only way to stop violence is with escalating amounts of violence, rather than which is not actually what it needs to be. You need to not have, but as the bloke at the end says, it's going to cause more violence because
his logic. The second guy, Michael Cera's logic is faultless. That's exactly because he's thinking of course they're just going to shoot you in the face because they don't want you pressing the button, so you burn them to death. Yeah, his quote, Charles's quote is, "If you're against this system, you're fighting for the criminals." That is like. This guy, he is dangerous. This guy is dangerous.
Yeah. Also,
he's just so...
He's a retired lawyer. He's a retired lawyer as well, isn't he? So surely, presumably...
Former lawyer. And my assumption was he probably entered practicing law about, 1994? What do you reckon?
Though surely the whole point of being a lawyer is that sometimes you have to fight for the criminals, don't you? That's literally part of your job. But I think he clearly just has a childish obsession with flamethrowers as well.
It's fine. I don't mind that.
I mean, I suspect he enjoys...
We all do.
Probably loves a James Bond film, especially the Roger Moore era ones where you get to see Q. And there's always stuff going on in the background. There's usually flamethrowers involved in that, isn't there?
It's not quite a ghetto blaster, is it?
Yeah. But I remember this being all over the news when around this time, because it really does capture the imagination. Because it's a number of things. Obviously, it's a great image seeing a BMW with 2 enormous flamethrowers coming out the side of it, and it seems insane. And then it makes you think, "Wow, how criminal is South Africa that they could? How is this allowed?" So it's exactly the sort of thing that
how is this necessary?
Yes,
necessary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kind of as an image, it's incredible. I always go through these episodes to pull out images to kind of turn into. I'm not telling you, Russ. You already know this. To turn into little teaser picture and then the cover art for the podcast. And I find consistently that this era of Tomorrow's World, slim pickings. This is one,
it's visually boring, isn't it? Usually.
Awful, so awful. all the exceptions are this segment. The scene where you see his BMW parked in a garage, and the flames, and they're going out like 3 meters either side.
Yeah.
But actually, what was interesting this time around was because I was reading my notes, was listening to it, and the sheer noise of these. It's like it is deafening, and you're just like, this is clumsy choice of words, but this is. The level of overkill in these inventions is astonishing.
How much gas is he getting through just to demonstrate it to all
That's
the
exactly what I was going to say. There's a gas thing in the boot, right?
Yeah,
there's a gas thing in the boot. What boot? There's no boot left. It's just gas, right? I just think the impracticality of all this.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, both you and I were having the same kind of view, which is like, what if something goes wrong? Yeah. Like, what if you're pulling up outside the school gates to pick up your kids, and it just goes off by mistake, or your foot slips. I don't drive,
especially as it's foot operated as well. Is it?
Yeah,
like the button to operate it is literally next to the right next to the accelerator pedal.
Yeah,
it's not an impossibility. I've done it before that your foot slips off the pedal, or you just if you're unfamiliar with the car and you get in, you put your foot in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And you suddenly roasted a bus queue. It's
yeah, exactly, yeah. And but then I was thinking about what if you get rear-ended, rear shunted or whatever, it's like, which happens, or you're driving along in the fog and this is perverse. I can't think of another way. Absolutely perverse. This guy is a sadist and it's perverse, and he's so proud.
Yeah.
Like it is absolutely astonishing. And on the one hand, I agree with you, which is that it's good that kind of Craig is kind of bringing a kind of the sentiment of like not just kind of doubt, but like real genuine fear and concern about this invention.
Yeah.
But it is, the more I think about it, it is, have your cake and eat it territory. They are showing it, and they're clearly enjoying showing it.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to pretend that they disapprove. Well, if you disapprove it, don't show it.
Yeah. The other thing, like, because before we even see the car, we see another one of his inventions.
Yeah.
Which is as far as I can tell, is meant to protect your house by just so it's a large briefcase. It's bigger than a regular
almost
briefcase.
like one of those doctor bags. Like it's kind of really wide and big and
which you just point at your front door or out of your French windows and just blast flames out of that. That's supposed to stop intruders. That seems. I mean, how's that going to? Is that remotely operated? What's going? And why is it in a briefcase?
No, because they say that it contains like because the frame again. I meant to write it down because it's like such a disturbing frame. It's basically operated by what does Craig say? Like a basic motion sensor.
Right.
So like an even worse word than basic, like a rudimentary motion sensor.
A cat or a fox comes across your lawn.
Yeah.
It's just immediately
no, they don't.
Barbecued. But why is it? Is it just in the briefcase because James Bond puts his gadgets in the briefcase sometimes? Is that what it is? Why is it in the briefcase? There's no reason for it to be in a briefcase.
Why disguise it? Yeah, what warning are you saying if you don't tell people that you have? I mean, surely these only work because people are aware they might exist. But if you hide them,
then he's actually looking. He's trying to find
you're
something. He's trying to roast somebody
deliberately.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a guy.
I did actually find, I wondered whether there was, obviously, as I said, there was a lot of media buzz about it at the time. I wonder whether there's like I can find different reports. I did find a different report from, I think, Associated Press. So I thought we'd watch that because this has actually got a dummy, being roasted on it. So I thought that was quite interesting to see.
The heat is on for South Africa's car thieves. It looks like a James Bond movie, but the inventor of the blaster system, Charles Fourie, believes he's found a way to deal with carjackers.
The car is fitted with a coded keypad or just a key switch on the dashboard. When it's turned, a red light will appear and it will show that the system is now armed and ready for activation. Underneath here we have the foot switch. The system will function for as long as you keep it down. And just quickly to explain how it works, when this foot switch is pressed, two things happen. One, a 14,000 volt spark would appear here in this nozzle. And then you have these 4 jets here shooting out gas, liquid gas from the gas bottle in the boot. The liquid gas As soon as it exits over the spark here, will ignite and a ball of flame will shoot out on both sides of the vehicle, incapacitating the hijackers immediately.
Amazingly, perhaps, the system's legal in South Africa, provided the drivers acting in self-defence, as depicted in this mock-up. About 25 vehicles so far have the blaster, but no one's yet tested the system for real.
Obviously, the comment section underneath that is an absolute cesspool.
Go on, then.
There is not a single person in the comment section underneath that thing who doesn't think it's a good idea. Absolutely everyone loves it. Lots of comments about South Africa and the crime and the race of the sort of people that might be committing it.
Of course.
Yeah. But there was one comment that made me laugh, just for the pure level of psychopathy.
Psychopathy, yeah.
I think if I get terminal cancer, I will go to South Africa, buy one of these, and spend a few weeks stopping at red lights. On my bucket list for sure.
Jesus.
What? But yeah, he actually won the 1999
Prince of Wales Innovation
the 1999 Ig Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh, very good.
Peace Prize. So that was good. But we'll be pleased to hear, Mark, that although he says he reckoned he had huge interest and he was going to sell thousands of these things, he didn't. He sold a few hundred, just a few hundred of them apparently. The retail price was 3,900 rand, which at today's prices is 1,300 quid. So that's quite expensive for
car's not worth it, right?
Security. Yeah. Also, he says it won't damage the paintwork. I don't believe him. I just don't believe that level of flame coming out the side of your car from underneath. It would not at least cause some light singeing around the nozzles.
Like, it's hot. I mean, I go to the football and, like, they have flame things there. And, like, even when they're on the other side of the pitch from the stand I'm in, you can still feel the heat.
Yeah.
And when you're on the side of the pitch where these things are, like, they're hot. And, like, you're no more than 15 meters from them. No, you're never ever any closer than about 15 meters. Come on. Pull the other one.
Yeah. But, I mean, I suppose you don't really... I guess... If you're roasting another human being, you being concerned about your paintwork is probably, that's the least of your worries, isn't it? Really?
No, I have to say that's where I disagree. I think the fact that he was so at pains to point out that it wouldn't damage the car, I think is the key to unlocking his psychopathy. That's the thing. It's like, no. I think he would have. The reason they point out so far is to make sure that your car doesn't get damaged.
Having said that, when they've got the vox pops with all the various South African people in the street at the end, most of them seem to be worried about whether it'll damage the car.
Yeah, will it damage the car? Like, no. Oh, no, that's not a bad idea. Oh, well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so I think maybe South Africans just have a different attitude towards life and death to us, I don't know, or serious maiming.
Does remind me, I think I said in the notes that my dad went to Johannesburg around this time, so maybe
with his
late
PalmPilot?
90s, early. What did he have as PalmPilot with?
Probably looking for more rhino.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, he struggled in the city of London, so yeah, Johannesburg does make sense. And he did get Johannesburg, and he was. I think when he told me afterwards, because I suppose there was maybe a bit of concerns, like Johannesburg doesn't have the best of reputations, hard earned, doesn't have the best of reputations, but it's hard earned. And he was told, like, we'll get a car, we'll pick you up, we'll drop you off at your hotel, stay there, don't leave, we'll come collect you, and then we'll go on, we'll have dinner, and then, you'll have some meetings the following day. But, like, the key thing was, like, please don't leave, just stay in your hotel. And, you met my dad, he was like, fuck that, right? Yeah. I'm not going to just sit, bunch of pussies, that's what they are. Absolute, how dare they, cowards, a lot of them. And he just says, like, he was obviously joking after the fact, but he was a bit wary. He was a bit like, oh, okay. But he was also bored. He'd refreshed, I think, and I suppose his feeling was like, maybe I'll just go have a beer somewhere. Go for a walk, wander around Johannesburg and find somewhere to have a beer or grab a sandwich and all. He said, like, and so here's the thing, Mark. So it was quite a nice hotel he was being put up in, big foyer and like rotating doors at the front. And no, actually, they were opened they opened automatically. He said he walked out and there were steps down. And he said opposite the hotel, relatively in the centre of Johannesburg, opposite the hotel, there was a bank. And he says, like, I put one foot out the door of the hotel, 3 armed robbers came out of the bank. The alarm started blaring. I said within 20 seconds, the police had turned up, shot them all to death. And he said that I just basically just swiveled slowly on my foot and walked straight back into the hotel and waited for the car to pick him up.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like within 30 seconds, like within a minute really of like, you know, leaving his hotel, he'd seen 3 men killed.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm sure it's all right now, though, isn't it, Mark? I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Yeah, let's go right now. Yeah. First ever live, in-person, Tomorrow's World all-time meet-up. Johannesburg.
Can't wait to go through passport control and tell them I've got diplomatic immunity.
But you don't, Russ, you'd be lying.
I'll just write it on my passport in Tipex.
Okay, yeah. Do you accept my diplomatic immunity?
So he discontinued them after 3 years because he didn't sell any. He didn't hardly sold any. It wasn't turning a profit. And every article, there was loads of articles about him, and every article that I read kept claiming that he came back with what he called a pocket flamethrower. That was his next invention. But I could not. I could only find mention of it. Yeah. I could not find any pictures or any more information other than the fact that he tried to make a big comeback with a pocket flamethrower. I don't know how small a pocket flamethrower would be. I mean, how much gas can you carry in a pocket? I mean, is it?
Oh yeah. I mean, they'd be over in seconds.
Was it not just like a cigarette lighter that you cranked the little thing up to make it long, or was it the size? Maybe it's like the size of a can of deodorant or something. Maybe I don't know. Who knows? Deodorant. That's lost in the mist of time because he was far too famous about with the BMW thing. So, but then obviously the other thing, one of the reasons why it didn't really sell, apart from the fact that people don't like the idea of roasting other human beings, is that carjackers invariably work in threes. So you could be roasting the blokes either side of your car, but you've still got a third one who's absolutely flame free
at the front of the car.
Who could just stand there and blow your brains out through the windscreen. So and probably would if you set light to his mates.
They're mourning their toasted friends.
Yeah. So that's probably another reason why it didn't really take off. The best anti-carjacking thing you can really do, though, these days, there is a company called SVI in South Africa who will basically, if you've got a pickup truck, like a Ford Ranger or a Toyota Hilux or something like that, they will armour it for you, which basically makes you immune to carjackers. So if you spend between $30,000 and $40,000...
So what was that word again? Was it immunity?
It gives you carjacking immunity. Yeah. They'll fit it with bulletproof glass and Kevlar doors. So that's a much better idea. Defence is the best form of offence, isn't it, Mark? That's the old phrase, isn't it? But that would
defence is the best form of attack.
That will stop bullets from an AK-47, Mark. So that's that's not bad, is it?
That's impressive.
Yeah, but I don't know.
The other thing is move. Cape Town seems nice.
Yeah,
just move.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what Charles Fourie is doing these days. I couldn't find any more details about him.
Lost to the mists.
Maybe he was killed in a carjacking.
I was going to say, do you think when he dies, do you think he'd want to be buried or cremated?
Cremated by his own briefcase.
I would have thought so, right? Yeah.
We leave Johannesburg behind on our way to the capital city, Pretoria, and a potential medical breakthrough. Tuberculosis is a disease which has killed millions of people around the world. In developing countries like South Africa, the epidemic is still rampant, and treatments used in the West aren't always available here. Also, new strains of the bacteria are appearing, which are resistant to modern drugs. But the future to treating this disease could lie here, in African traditional medicine. TB is a disease of the lungs, and back in the 50s, modern medicine thought it was conquered. But now the bacteria is evolving, outwitting the very medicines that once used to combat it. In its most virulent form, it's being dubbed multi-drug resistant TB. With the disease getting ever more deadly, scientists are now turning to the past to come up with new ways to fight back. For centuries, local people have visited healers who use plants to treat their illnesses. And in South Africa, they have a rich resource. 10% of the world's plant species are found here. Traditional healers like Maklakala Mozewu believe they have healing powers. She grows the plants for her own remedies in her back garden.
The plants are good because you dig them straight out of the soil, from the soil. They are still fresh. Then you cook them for a person to drink. Then they are good. Everything which is from the soil, it's good.
Matlakala's ancestors taught her how to use local plants to treat ailments like coughing and fever, which are exactly what you get when you have TB. And in the future, it's the work of traditional healers like her that may hold the clue to treating the multi-drug resistant form of this disease.
Scientists have in the past often dismissed such work as superstition. But with the situation for diseases like TB turning critical, they're having to explore other avenues. And they're finding that there is indeed a scientific basis to many of the so-called alternative remedies.
Here at the University of Pretoria in the botany department, Namrita Lal is working in a team that believes modern medicine must learn from local traditions. She's working closely with healers such as Matlakala and using their knowledge of the healing powers of local plants. The team are trying to isolate an active compound from the plants that healers use in the treatment of coughs to attack the TB bacteria. It's a quest close to Namrita's heart, as she witnessed the misery that TB causes when she grew up in India.
One of my relatives had TB and I've seen her sufferings. A lot of substance which is used in modern medicine have originated from research on medicinal plants. So that's how I got interested.
Namrita has decided to focus her investigation by testing 20 plants traditional healers use to cure the symptoms of TB.
This is Helichrysum aureonatans, and it's one of the plants that Namrita is analysing in this laboratory. Inside these delicate leaves could be a major new weapon in the fight against multi-drug-resistant TB.
But to really test the plant's potency, Namrita must take the extract she's collected from it and other species to the TB laboratories at the Medical Research Council in Pretoria, where they face the ultimate challenge.
Inside this vial are millions of active TB bacteria. They're resistant to 7 major drugs, including antibiotics, making them potentially lethal, which is why we have to handle them inside this special vacuum cabinet.
Namrita very carefully removes some of the active TB bacteria and adds them to each of the different plant extracts. They're then left for 2 days. During this time, the plant extract, if it is active against TB, should kill the bacteria. To see which plants are effective, Namrita analyses the levels of bacteria remaining in each bottle. The lower the level, the more TB bacteria have been killed.
So what are the results showing?
Okay, here in some of the vials, the reading is quite high, 999.
All lines, yeah.
Which indicates that this plant extract is ineffective. Whereas in these vials, as you can see, the reading is low, which indicates that plant extract has inhibited growth of Mycobacteria tuberculosis.
It's a dramatic result. A plant from the Helichrysum everlasting family wipes out a strain of TB that's resistant to 7 modern drugs. The results are so impressive that a major drugs company is interested in taking Namrita's research further. This discovery may pave the way not only for a breakthrough in the treatment of TB, but scientists in South Africa are finding there may be potential cures for other diseases, such as malaria, from plants that grow all around them.
TB, Mark. Consumption, as they used to call it.
Yes, indeed.
I don't. It's one of those things where, did I know that consumption was the same as tuberculosis? I'm not sure. Old-fashioned names for diseases, I'm more surprised when it turns out they're actually a modern disease and not just, just some sort of made-up old-fashioned thing. It was known as the romantic disease back when it was called consumption, right? You know that? romantic disease.
I know it's the tragedy that kind of befits quite a lot of 19th century stories, right?
Well, it's because so many poets, writers, and artists got it. It seemed to be somehow affect them more, probably because they're weak, weak, sensitive souls. I've got a list of famous writers, poets, and artists who had it: John Keats, Shelley, Edgar Allan Poe, Chopin, Chekhov, Kafka, Charlotte Bronte, Dostoevsky, Somerset Maugham, George Orwell, Robert Louis Stevenson, Edvard Munch, and Modigliani all had TB of some varying degrees.
Can you quickly Google who was the hardest person ever to die of tuberculosis?
It's actually, the interesting thing is that lots of people have TB and don't know it. They have a thing called latent TB. They reckon about a quarter of the world's population has a TB infection, but obviously...
You may not remember this, but I did. Do you remember that time at school when we got BCGs?
Oh, no, my BCG.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about BCGs. Everyone was obsessed with the BCG. I remember, at primary school, being told, "Oh, when you go to secondary school, there's this thing called a BCG, and it's the most painful thing in the whole world," and all that. It was just an injection, wasn't it? It was like, yeah.
It was. Put your hands up if you're the only person in the entire school year not to require a BCG.
Oh, really?
So I was just telling Josie about it. So that day and a half or 2 days when everyone was going around punching each other in the arm, I felt like I couldn't get involved because there was no recourse. But I was just amusingly, watching people just sneak up behind people, just punch them on the left arm.
Is that because you're already absolutely riddled with TB?
So what I discovered, I think my mum listens to this, so she can correct me at some point in the future. But my mum was diagnosed with TB in Ireland when she was growing up, and so this would have been the 60s, and obviously the 1960s in Ireland at the time were like the 1920s.
Yeah.
So she was sent off to a sanatorium to convalesce, one hopes, or maybe perish. And obviously she was surrounded by people who had TB. And that's when she discovered that she had a natural immunity to TB, which showed up as TB that I've inherited. So that, when I was the only one in the entire year to pass this because I have a natural immunity to it.
Oh, like that girl in The Last of Us.
Yes, I am. Hashtag yes, I am like Ellie. Hashtag.
Oh, that's interesting. My memory of the BCGs, after getting it, went back to geography class and fainted.
Did you?
Yes, yeah. I certainly felt I've never fainted before. Have I fainted since? I don't know. I've never fainted since either. And I don't know why.
I fainted once.
Yeah, and I suddenly felt really weird. And I went up to, I thought, I feel really weird. I better go and tell a teacher. Mr. Legg, he was. And as I went up to speak to him, I just, collapsed on the floor.
Did you have that thing where your peripheral vision starts to kind of zooming into? It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. It's creepy.
And he thought I was taking a mickey. I remember him saying in his really thick West Country accent, "You have me on, boy." Sorry, sir. Yeah, no. So that's how I remember my BCG. But it certainly wasn't painful. I didn't realise they don't do BCGs anymore, Mark. Do you know that? I mean, the BCG exists.
I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
It exists, so they still give it to people in countries that are susceptible to TB, but Britain is so clear of TB that in 2005 they decided to just stop giving people the BCG because it's not really worth it.
Oh,
yeah,
fair enough.
So it's a whole generations of school children that don't have all this BCG fun.
Oh, my BCG!
Yeah, unbelievable.
They don't know they're woke nonsense.
Yeah, he's woke snowflakes.
I don't know
scared
how
of a BCG
pro-immunisation can be woke nonsense, but it is, Russ.
But yeah, no, in the 1800s, it was responsible for a quarter of all deaths in Europe, which is a lot, isn't it? BCG was introduced in 1921, and then that combined with some other antibiotics that they came up with meant by the 50s, that death rate had plunged by 90%. But then, as Philippa talks about here, the problem with bacteria-based diseases is the bacteria are wily little buggers and they learn how to become resistant to the antibiotics. And so you end up with MDR TB, multi-drug resistant TB, which is the problem that I think they're trying to address here. I think, a combination of that and the fact that pharmaceutical drugs are expensive, so they're looking for a natural remedy. Maybe that part of it as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you get something from a plant, then the pharmaceutical company's not going to be able to screw you over for thousands of pounds per tablet or whatever, or injection.
That, and they've seen Medicine Man, right?
Yeah. So yeah, they're relying on this lovely African lady who's grinding up plants in their back garden in the pestle and mortar called
she's great,
Matlakala Mosiweyu. And normally, obviously, if I see somebody grinding up plants with a pestle and mortar, my quackery alarm goes off.
Of course.
But it seems like here, there's actually some scientific basis here, because then we do go to an actual laboratory with an actual scientist who's doing actual tests using actual equipment. Yeah. And she's finding out that
there might be some there.
There might be something in it. It might be something in this.
My quackery alarm did go off as well. But then actually, as I was reflecting on it, it's like the idea that, a mature lady had been taught herbal remedies by, previous generations of her family. It's like, that actually kind of, like, you understand when, like, if it's this, use this. Like, that kind of, that knowledge being passed down. I mean, we had a Greek Orthodox woman who used to live near us in our old home who worshipped mint and the benefits of mint, for your digestive tract. Did she give it to us all the time, or did she try and take us all the time? I can't remember. She sadly passed away a few years ago after we left. Yeah, that idea, like, there is, there are genuinely benefits to eating some of these things. It makes perfect sense. The quackery then is somebody trying to find out if it's scientific true or not, but it does seem like there might be some there, right?
Yes, yeah. So you've got this the lady working in the lab. She's called Namrita Lal, who very helpfully has clearly written her own extensive Wikipedia page. So I was able to, you can tell when somebody's written their own page.
Yeah,
it features a little bit too much detail and stuff that wouldn't, maybe an outsider wouldn't write. So a lot about her, but she's still doing research, and her. I quite like the name of what she calls it. She calls it bioprospecting. So
I don't hate that.
The idea that she's getting all these plants. She's working with indigenous not what's it she calls it? She holds the South African Research Chair for Plant Health Products from Indigenous Knowledge Systems. So basically what she does, she asks locals what their folk remedies are, and then she takes them to the lab and runs them through in the machines and works out whether actually there's any sort of scientific basis to it. So that's actually quite an interesting thing to do, because she's still working at that. She's managed to identify 11 different medicines derived from these plants, which are, I was interested by this, patentable. She reckons she's patented 11 plant-based medicines. I don't know how that works. Surely the plants own the patent.
Or the people who told her about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. But yeah. So this one that Philippa's showing us is called Helichrysum aureatans, some popular local South African plant. They currently don't use it to cure TB, Mark. But there has been lots of tests done, lots of papers published about it, and it does seem to have very interesting properties. And it does seem to be the case that it can kill TB. They also think it might have some anti-cancer properties as well. Okay. So it might be a bit of a wonderful. But it always happens when I look up these pharmaceutical things. The research time is so long for this stuff that, and also there's probably not a huge amount of profit. There's not a huge amount of motivation to study it that much, because there's probably not a huge amount of profit just extracting something from a plant compared to synthesizing something new, is there? I doubt. I wouldn't have thought from the pharmaceutical company's point of view. Because at the moment, if you've got drug-resistant TB, you have to take a strong cocktail of drugs for between 18 to 24 months to cure it. So that's probably makes a lot more money for the companies, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Possibility, Mark, but no, nothing concrete. That's what I'm saying. The outcome of this. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, if only I knew somebody who was like a preeminent expert on TV, who's worked for the United Nations, the World Health Organization.
But you don't.
Yeah. Hello, Christina, if you're listening. She won't be listening, Mark. But anyway.
No, I know. I've met her, Ross. She won't be listening.
But that's probably about it, I'd say, Mark. Ready for that section? Should we?
No.
Should we bash on
to
the...
one we wrote. Yeah. Next.
It's time to wave goodbye to the blue train as we take to the road on the final leg of our journey.
We travelled to Madikwe, close to the Botswana border. It's here that they're creating a world first.
Madikwe is South Africa's largest new game reserve. They're setting it up from scratch. A few years ago, there were only cattle grazing here, as far as the eye can see.
Now the area is teeming with animals. There are over 13,000 here, from wildebeest, giraffes, lions and leopards, all feeding off the land and each other. So we're here to see how it all works.
Game parks are usually created by erecting a fence around animals that already live in an area, but not Madikwe. It's bursting at the seams with new inhabitants because it's the first park in the world to be set up by transporting huge numbers of animals into an area where few existed before.
To create an ecosystem like this takes the world's largest movement of wild animals, 8,000 of them so far into Madikwe, overseen by Dr. Marcus Hofmeyer.
First introductions were the herbivores, the prey base, and the sort of animals that can impact on the vegetation. That's why we brought the elephant and the herbivores in. And only once they'd established themselves could we consider bringing in the predators. It's the first time, to my knowledge, in the world that all the predators, spotted hyena, cheetah, wild dog, lion, have been translocated from another area into a new area.
By creating a whole new food chain here, Marcus is hoping to preserve the lives of some of the world's most endangered animals. Now, it's not only the glamorous creatures like these two big fellas they look after here. You'll also see the African wild dog, or the painted wolf as it's also known, Southern Africa's most endangered carnivore. Wild dogs like these have been hunted as pests by farmers, almost to the point of extinction. Marcus is reintroducing them into Madikwe, but now they face another threat, rabies. It's carried by the jackals already in the park. So he's employing science to try and save them by trialling the use of a domestic dog vaccine. After sedating the dog, we move in.
What are you doing to her? Okay, I'm just giving her the injection here into the muscle.
This is the first time wild dogs are being vaccinated, and Marcus is hoping to discover how often he needs to do this to keep them free of rabies. If he's successful, Madikwe could lead the way in saving the wild dog in southern Africa.
Local people are also benefiting from Madikwe's pioneering approaches. It's the first game reserve set up to bring wealth into a rural area by creating jobs, giving the people a stake in the park's survival. Projects like this bush clearing are essential for tourists to be able to see the game easily, but more importantly, they provide real jobs where few existed before.
Well, life has changed tremendously. You know, our communities are far from, working areas where they can get jobs. But ever since this park was built and some of our children came here and got jobs.
The future of Madikwe now depends on ensuring that the animals continue to thrive by keeping a constant check on how they're adapting to their new home. The park covers 600 square kilometres, so Marcus is turning to technology to help him monitor the animals. Now, one way to do this is on foot with Louis Liebenberg's PalmTop tracker. Another way is to use the most up-to-date radio communications technology and use radio and satellite collars. And that's what we're going to do today.
We're going to replace an elephant collar on a young bull that was brought in from another park. Now, he's happily integrated with the other elephants here. The problem is we have to find him first. So I'm going to go in the Jeep, and Philippa is taking to the skies with Marcus there. See ya. One of Madikwe's most ambitious projects is to import whole families of elephants to create a sustainable population in the park. But once they're inside, it's vital for Marcus to check the herds are staying together as family groups and breeding.
We've just had a call from Philippa that they've actually spotted the elephant from the air, so that's where we're heading off to now.
Although Marcus has sedated elephants with darts on many occasions, it always requires intense concentration. The dart hits home, and Marcus knows he has to work fast to attach the collar and administer the antidote. If the elephant is down too long, its blood pressure and temperature will rise, putting its life at risk. The first task is to turn the elephant on its side to fit the collar.
Careful when he falls over. Careful when he falls over.
Philippa.
Yeah.
Breath only if it goes lower than 4. Let me know, okay. Water on the ears, please.
The water is vital to keep the elephant's temperature down whilst the collar is being attached.
From the bottom.
Are you up against the clock, Marcus?
A little bit because of the heat, but he's nicely under anesthetic. He went down very, very nicely. I think we're in a very good situation here. Breaths. They're nice and deep.
Yes. 5 to 6 breaths a minute.
Okay, can you just hold the ear up like that for me quickly?
All right. Okay. We're going to see him up and walk in soon?
Yeah. Everybody can get him back in vehicles.
Nice ear work.
Nice trunk work.
As soon as he can, Marcus injects an antidote. And within seconds, the elephant rises to its feet.
With his new collar in place, he's off to rejoin his family, and Marcus is able to establish that the herd is staying together. This is yet another example of how science is contributing to the future of this country.
Oh, it's more animal tracking, Mark.
Brilliant.
South Africa's a big country. There must be a lot going on there. Is it really the case that we need to have 2 different segments about animal tracking? Surely they could have found something else for variety, surely. No?
It is a wee bit patronising, isn't it, to imply that South Africa is just cricket. Traditional tribal healthcare methodology and nature reserves.
And carjacking.
Oh, and carjacking. Sorry, yeah.
I mean, they could have done a bit.
Go on then, Russ, name a 5th thing.
They could have done diplomatic community.
Of course. No, but of course, Russell, they're all outside South Africa. It's the whole point.
Wouldn't that have been a brilliant ending if it had just been a small segment on some sort of new technological development in the world of diplomatic immunity? that would have been the greatest thing ever.
I genuinely don't think as many people fetishise that film as much as you do. I'm so sorry. I feel like we need to have an intervention.
You look online, Mark. There's lots of people talking about it. Yeah, this is the Madikwe game reserve. It's not. I mean, there's no new technology here. This is just Philippa and Craig having a little bit of fun. Philippa gets to go in a helicopter. Craig gets to go in a jeep. He's obviously pulled a short straw there.
Loser.
They get to chase.
Well, she's pulled rank. She's been in the job longer, right?
Yeah. Although maybe the danger of his oversized shirt getting caught in the rotor blades. I mean, they fell this elephant. I wonder how much drugs it takes to fell an elephant. Like, must be quite a lot. And they just attach a GPS tracker to it, don't they? Is it a GPS tracker? I think that's what it is.
No, radio.
Oh, is it a radio tracker?
It's a radio tracker.
In a big collar.
That's why this is completely different to the previous one, Russ, because it's radio, not GPS.
Oh, but radio's older than GPS.
Yep.
But that's not. I don't believe that's a new invention. So it's just. No. What are we looking at here, Mark? So
there's 3 elements, right? There's the interesting one, which is them making a new game reserve from fresh cloth.
Yeah.
And the benefits that might have to the economy. That is the one that gets the least amount of
and that's the one bit that I found interesting.
I would love to know more about that. It's like, oh God, how do you go about deciding where you are going to do this? How complicated it must be to do so. It may be beneficial for local people at the same time. Also, they're probably incapable or unable to farm the land, and all these kind of political questions and policy questions I think are really interesting. There is none of that in this. So there's that element. There is the small bit where Dr. Marcus Hofmeyer shoots his first animal because he's trying to control rabies in the wild dog population. But again, that's kind of a short segment as well. And then we get on to tracking animals, well, elephants specifically, with this radio collars, which weirdly also involves Dr. Marcus Hofmeyer shooting another animal. and it basically just seems to be he is just discovering new ways he can go around shooting animals.
Yeah, at least he's not got a flamethrower though. I mean, that would...
luckily, a tranquilizing flamethrower. Yeah. It's just this genuinely. I think there is nothing in this.
Yeah.
You might have discovered something, but I learned nothing from watching this.
They seem to think that we'll be entertained by Craig and Philippa having fun.
Well, they're wrong.
Yeah. I want information, Mark. That's what I want, cold-hard information.
Yeah.
That's what I want from tomorrow as well. But the Madikwe Game Reserve is the 5th largest game reserve in South Africa. And as they explain, it wasn't there. It never used to be. It used to be farmland, but it wasn't particularly fertile farmland. So they thought a better way to make money from it was to fill it with animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's Marcus Hoffmeyer led the whole project, which is why he's featured in it so much. They just called it. They just called him a vet. They just say vet.
They do, yeah.
But actually, he's actually basically in charge of the project. They moved 8,200 animals there over the space of 5 years.
That's a lot. I'd love to see. What are the, because that's more than an animal a day. So what is the logistics of that?
Yeah. And 27 different large mammal species that they put there. But yeah, including black and white rhinos. Not black and white rhinos, black rhinos and white rhinos.
Yes, black rhinos.
Although a black and white rhino would be quite good, wouldn't it? Like a stripe,
that'd be
like
like a zebra rhino.
Yeah. And old Marcus, I've got a picture of him at the bottom of the thing there. He's decided to concentrate purely on rhinos. That's his big love. And there he is standing next to a rhino. Look at that.
He looks happy. It is cool. It is cool.
He seems to have turned...
Something's happened to the bottom of his trousers.
He's turned into the old man from Up as well, a bit in the old face, isn't he? You wouldn't expect him to look like that.
He does have a very square head.
This game reserve is actually too successful, Mark.
Oh.
The elephant population, when they first installed the elephants, there's 220 elephants. They reckon the reserve has an elephant capacity of 500. As of 2025, there are 1,600 elephants in this game reserve. So they've got far too many elephants. I found an article from September last year, and animal welfare groups are up in arms because the game reserve is going to start allowing trophy hunting there to get the elephants down.
Okay.
And the welfare groups have said, look, we've been offering you elephant contraceptives for years now to bring them down without having to shoot them. And you've ignored us, and now you've ended up with too many elephants. Why don't you listen to us and take our contraceptives?
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't specify what the contraceptives are, which made me think of,
big giant condoms.
Yeah, big giant elephant condom. Yeah. But I think it might be, there might be a bit of a money-making scam, Mark, because...
It does feel that way, no?
According to data from the Professional Hunters Association, the average price, the hunters pay a price to hunt.
Yeah.
You can get $26,500 per elephant for hunting elephants. So that's a lot. So considering they've got 1,100 too many elephants, that's quite a lot of money, isn't it? So much they can make, possibly. Amazingly, you can pay $300,000 to hunt a black rhinoceros, even though they are critically endangered, which is mad.
That is mad.
And if you want to shoot a lion or a buffalo, it's only $13,000. Absolute bargain. But yeah, so the Northwest Parks and Tourism Board in May 2025 was advertising online to hunters that they're available. There were licenses to shoot 25 elephants, 2 black rhinos, and 10 buffalo in Madikwe Park. There was a big uproar, and they took it down. But yeah, so I'm wondering, I'm starting to think: is this a nature reserve, or is it actually
is he playing the long game?
A long game money making scheme?
Yeah. Oh, a long game reserve.
Yeah. So that was the interesting thing I found out about it. But obviously, the
rest of it, nothing.
Other than that, it's absolute scriptastic, isn't it?
Yeah, scriptacular.
Scriptacular. Yeah.
Ah, well, there we go. Thanks, India. You ruined it.
The funny noise just came from my chest.
TB?
Yeah.
Normally the first act ends on the female love interest just coughing into her hanky. Is that what you've just done?
Oh, no. I read so much about TB that I'm caught it.
And then she opens up the hanky and there's a little bit of red. You go, oh, no.
Well, shall we open up the ledger and see if...
Should we crunch the numbers?
Yeah.
Should we move on with our lives?
Yeah.
Okay, so the year in context, so 1999, cinema box office? May 1999.
When I saw this chart...
A couple of months before The Matrix came out, right?
I got this incredible Proustian rush when I saw this chart.
Because we were working at the Odeon.
This must have been when we were working there, because...
So I'm assuming Plunkett McCain is Plunkett McCain is the number one film, right? Go on then. Oh, no, I was going to guess. This is before Phantom Menace, right?
Yeah. This is...
Austin Powers?
I think this is when we first started working there, I think. Pretty sure.
October 98, I think. October, November 98.
Oh, yeah.
No, maybe it was January. Anyway, go on. Sorry, go for it. You weren't there very long.
Number 10, Waking Ned.
Oh, my God, yeah. Yep.
Number 9, An Ideal Husband.
I liked that film. Mostly because I think I had a crush on Minnie Driver, so...
Never driven a Mini. Number 8, The Faculty.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't bad.
Number 7, The Rugrats movie.
Yeah. Here's the thing, is like lists around this small window, I guarantee we have seen every single film on this list, and plus the following 20 that are below the line. Go on.
Although I don't think I've seen this one. Number 6, Message in a Bottle. Don't even remember that.
That rings no bell whatsoever.
Kevin Costner and Robin Wright.
Oh, no. Oh, that does ring a bell.
Number 5, 8mm.
Yeah.
Number 4, Existenz.
Oh, my God. I went on a date to see Existenz.
Oh, what a lovely date movie that is.
She liked it.
It
was more her thing than mine, but yeah.
Makes that gun out of that...
that flesh gun.
Flesh gun out of it. Is it a chicken he makes it out of?
I can't remember.
Number 3, The Water Boy.
Oh, yeah. Never quite a huge fan of that at all, to be honest.
Number 2, Forces of Nature.
What was that?
Ben Affleck and Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
And number 1, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, my God. Ooh, shiver down the spine at the memory of working at the cinema. Yeah. Pop chart, Russ.
Number 10, What's It Gonna Be? Interrobang. Busta Rhymes featuring Janet. Number 9.
Are you just saying words?
That's what a podcast is, Mark. It's just saying words.
That's true, yeah.
Number 9, Beat Mama by Cast. Number 8, In Our Lifetime, Texas. Number 7, Hey, What's Wrong With You? Turn Around, Fats and Small.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Red Alert, Basement Jacks.
That was a good song.
Yeah. Number 5, Perfect Moment, Martine McCutcheon. Whatever happened to Martine McCutcheon? I was watching Love Actually at Christmas, and I was thinking, where's she gone? What's she doing these days?
That's a really good question. I have no idea.
Number 4, Right Here, Right Now, Fatboy Slim. Number 3, No Scrubs, TLC. Number 2, Why Don't You Get a Job by The Offspring. And number 1, Swear It Again by Westlife.
Fabulous. Russ, show me an advert.
Short but sweet, Mark. This is the I found the ITV Meridian advert break
from our neck of the woods.
From just 4 days before, Saturday the 1st of May 1999.
Oh my God.
These somebody had been recording the film Unforgiven, and these are the advert breaks from it. And this, as soon as I saw this, I thought, it's a classic. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Cole, chat back.
50. Wow.
Look at that.
Bloody hell. Gosh.
I could listen to that all night. I mean, what happened when
Why didn't you hotkey that?
What happened when you did phone chat back? What was it? Just other people on? I mean, was it just loads of people on, or did you reconnect with a random person? Was it an operator, or was it? I don't know. No idea.
I suppose my only real knowledge of what it might have been like is it priest talk? Yeah. I assume it's a bit like that, where you end up trying to talk to similarly minded people, but then somebody comes on and ruins it all.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, maybe I might try dialing it, after this and see whether it's still in operation.
God, you should do.
Imagine if it was still in operation and there's just loads and loads of people in their 60s just still chatting. They've just been made friends.
People going like, I didn't think this number would work. Magazine covers, Ross.
Okay, so we've got New Scientist. It's got a picture of a head with some stuff coming off of it, saying, captured. If it knows how you're feeling, can a computer become your best friend? Very prescient there, isn't it? Very prescient, isn't it? Lots of stories about that these days, isn't there?
There is.
Scientific American, tsunami, predicting destruction by monster waves. Also, black holes, direct proof at last. And prehistoric killer kangaroos.
Golly.
Popular Science, secret stealth sub, inside the Navy's fastest, quietest, deadliest sub.
I assume it has a caterpillar drive.
Yeah, got it, hasn't it? Yeah. Also, antibiotic resistance, now we're fighting back. And new Palm PCs. tested. So, you know, all the rage at this time. Time magazine, growing up online. Today's kids dwell in the world of computers and video games. Here's how parents can help them make the right choices.
And the right choices all parents made. So well done,
I was going to
everyone.
say, the big problem is that all the kids are all fine. Is the parents are all
exactly, we're all screwed. They've all looked at us and go like, we don't want that,
loony.
thanks very much. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
14 times, anarchy in the Y2K. Will you be stung by the millennium bug? And also ghosts on film. Spooks caught by security camera.
Ghosts on film.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're going for, isn't it? Yeah. Private Eye.
You should have gone with ghouls on film.
Oh, yeah, they should have done, shouldn't they?
Anyway,
Oh,
is it too late to punch up the...
Yeah, quick, write a letter to him. Private Eye has a picture of Mohammed Fayed and Kevin Keegan on a football pitch next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Keegan shock. And Fayed saying, great news for England, Kevin. And Keegan saying, yes, you're not getting a passport.
Oh, brilliant.
Their long-running feud with Mohammed Fayed, wasn't it? The front eye. Viz has a picture of Robbie Williams saying, let me entertain you. Zoetrope of the Millennium free inside. They spelt millennium wrong. Then on the front, there's Sid the Sexist talking to a librarian who is drawn like a stereotypical lesbian. And she's saying, I must say it's very refreshing to see a man taking an interest in serious lesbotic issues. And Sid the Sexist is saying, actually, pet, I'm bringing it back. Have you got out with more clam noshing in it?
Oh, that's lovely.
It is lovely.
That is nice.
Plus,
something that brings straight men and lesbian women together, isn't it?
Yeah.
Clam noshing.
Yeah, yeah. It also says all your favourites, plus Billy the Fish and Jimmy Nail's scrotum. And Playboy has Charlize Theron on the front cover, but you would not recognise it's Charlize Theron at all. It looks nothing like Charlize Theron. It looks like a completely random blonde woman.
Okay.
But it says Mighty Charlize Theron nude.
It says African Charlize Theron.
Oh, yes, of course she is. Yes. Interesting. But I googled to check that this actually was Charlize Theron, and it turns out that these were some photographs that she'd taken very early in her modelling career. The Playboy got hold of and published without her permission.
I don't like that.
She sued them successfully.
But only after they'd published
only
them,
after they published them, and obviously it's still widely available on the internet.
Because normally Playboy are pretty respectful of women, so it seems very, very underhand.
Yeah. It also has Playmates on Safari inside, which is another connection, interestingly. Everyone was just obsessed with South African safaris in 1999, clearly. Yeah, so that's magazine covers.
Fabulous, then. So let's audit this fabulous episode. Most important invention? I mean, I want to say, non-apartheid. I think, do you know what, but by the sounds of it, looking back, the PalmPilot, they used the PalmPilot.
Yeah.
Not the actual thing it's used for, but more the culture that had informed that, the innovation was that leap of understanding, that being able to provide a system that accesses kind of traditional tribal techniques can unlock scientific understanding.
Yeah.
That to me sounds like that's actually, which we learn exactly 0% about in this episode.
Yeah. Also, if they were using it to track Ebola, it could have saved some lives as well.
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
The side.
Yeah. Most worthless invention?
Yeah, I think Charles Fourie is...
Charles Fourie,
has provided that for us.
What an incredible man. Most inaccurate prediction of the future.
Charles Fourie predicting that he was going to sell thousands of these.
Thousands, yeah. I think the idea that South Africa's future was going to be entirely rosy was probably, maybe not inaccurate, but optimistic. But it has to be Charles Fourie imagining God, one of the most interesting people I've seen in a long while. Like you can't help but just look at him and just imagine like the internal monologue that kind of drives him.
Yeah. Or it could be the little lad in the first segment saying that he was going to be an ancestral cricketer. That's a more sad prediction, isn't it?
That's sad. I think I will forgive a young person being really enthusiastic about their abilities.
Yeah.
I find Charles Fourie less easy to forgive.
Yeah.
Not least because I just imagine him. But the inner monologue, I always imagine him when I was watching those segments over and over again was just him thinking to himself. But Daddy told me I'd be in charge. Daddy said I'd be in charge.
Yeah. I was wondering whether do you reckon he was friends with the Musk family at any point.
Oh my God! Yeah. I mean, how could he not be?
Because Musk sold flamethrowers at one point, didn't he?
That does ring a bell.
Yeah, he did. He did sell flamethrowers at one point. Because they're not illegal in South Africa.
Quite recently. He said, he was trying to sell them quite recently. Yeah. We're a screw up. I mean, I think Craig's choice of shirt size is a bit of a screw up, but then that might. I don't want to pick that when we have most notable clothing coming down the pipeline.
I don't think. I mean,
no, not really.
You're not going to get a screw up really on a fully pre-recorded episode.
No, you can't. No.
Oh no! Hang on, got it.
Oh, here we go.
The fact that I have subsequently found out that JJ Minge is actually called JJ Minye with a Y, and it's not actually called Minge at all.
Yeah, that is not the first time where you have discovered that they have completely mangled somebody's name.
Yeah. Do you reckon they just changed the spelling because they thought it was funny?
I think Freudian slip, right? I don't think they'd be malicious. They're just stupid. Yeah. Oh, great shout. Best attempt at making something boring interesting. So I'm going to argue that the boring thing is this entire episode, but they made it interesting by having Charles Fouret's flamethrowing car. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if without that flamethrower car, this would be unwatchable, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. I'd end my friendship with India.
But it'd be really weird if she remembered the episode.
Yeah. Oh, do you know, the only episode I remember is the most boring episode they ever broadcast. Best use of music? There's only one bit of music that I can remember in this, which is during the cricket bit. There's some kind of weird kind of South African choir singing in the background.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Almost, it reminded me, and I did try and Shazam it, but like you couldn't because it was just a voiceover the whole time. But it kind of reminded me of the lovely scene in Hunt for Red October, which I'll reference for a second time, where they start singing the anthem and have that kind of quality to it. Yeah. But again, I've no idea what it is. But
I think there was any other music. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I noticed anyway.
No. Best or worst use of furniture? No, I can't think of anything. I mean, people sit down, but like
briefcase doesn't count as furniture, does it?
No. I can't argue that the car seat counts as furniture either.
I mean, the luxury furniture on the blue train, I'm sure.
But we don't see that in the episode. You found that.
Episode, yeah.
All right, we'll bin that one off then. Most notable clothing?
I quite like Louis Liebenberg's tracking outfit with an absolutely filthy hat.
It was good. It was disgusting. Give it a wash, Louis.
Obviously, Philippa's wearing a lovely blue dress.
Mm-hmm.
A load of ping pong balls and a pair of pants.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Attached to our boy Craig. Do you know what? Let's go with Louis' tracking outfit. I liked it.
Yeah.
Did we see anything in the episode that made it through to the future?
The Cyber Tracker still going strong.
Yeah. Apparently the PalmPilot is still being used in IMAX cinemas throughout the world. Or an emulator.
Yeah. Blue Train's still going.
Yeah.
That Game Reserve is absolutely too successful. Too successful.
Yeah. Too successful, yeah.
They still use exactly the same technique in the cricket analysing thing.
That's good. That one. TB still alive.
TB's still killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the only thing that hasn't made it through is our
the
boy Charles. And what does this episode tell us about the 5th of May 1999?
South Africa's still got a long way to go. Tomorrow's World isn't very good.
No, it's not, sadly. It's one of those things where, like, every now and then I'm the one who always says, we should do one of those late ones, just because, like, it's an era we avoid. It's like, we've had fun doing them. And then you watch them again, like, it's just bad. It's bad television.
Yeah. I mean, the only good thing is that we had a very short time period between deciding to record this episode today and watching the episode.
Yeah.
And normally I can't get the research done because it takes me ages.
It takes days, right? Yeah, that's not beat around the bush. Yeah,
I did all the research this afternoon.
Bosh,
and smashed it. Yeah. And there's nothing in it. There's really only a handful of things that I could research. So that's just a testament to how low. What's the word? It's just like
low effort, low quality, low. tangible.
It's like the episode just runs through your fingers. There's nothing
like
left
sand
there. Yeah.
through an hourglass.
Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Yeah, no, it's a wisp of a show, right?
Yeah.
I agree. I also, like, there is a kind of it's weird. There is, the thing that annoyed me most, not annoyed me most, a lot annoyed me, but the underlining philosophy that annoyed me was this kind of slightly unrelenting optimism, despite the fact that the principal segment in this is really bleak, upsetting, and depressing. And there is a tonal disconnect between the show either side of that. It's like there is this kind of, we're in this fin de siècle period where there is a real passion to imagine that surely only the good times must keep rolling, and yet buried in this episode there is a seed. The Charles Fourie has more in connection with the world we live in now than anything either side of it, which is nice. Okay, so presenter having to speak over loud sounds, and thankfully, yes, Craig saves us here. He talks to us as this very loud gate closes, and then he does indeed have to speak louder. So I'm very happy to select that. There were no niche bicycle inventions. There was nothing to do with oil rigs. Was there a suspiciously obvious brand name in the ad-free BBC? I would argue that both the Blue Train and the PalmPilot. Yeah. Any clear and blatant lying?
Charles Fourie saying that there's thousands of people wanting to buy his flamethrower.
I think so. There were no evil farmers.
And also, does he say in this that it's definitely not lethal? Well, he says somewhere that it's definitely not lethal. This thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's at pains, and obviously it won't damage your car.
Yeah, which all seemed like lies to me.
Yeah, and the fact that he's lying to us that he has a positive disposition, he's not a secretly, right wing person as well. No evil farmers.
You have to change it. Do we get rid of evil farmers? I'm sure for the past two episodes I've said we've got rid of evil farmers.
I know, but then I keep seeing it there and thinking but one day they're going to come back.
But even this episode, they'd be called evil boers anyway.
Boers, yeah. Do you know what?
Yeah.
Hang on.
Which is, of course, Afrikaans for farmer.
Afrikaans.
Well, Dutch.
Boer. I think you're right. I keep wanting to. I keep deciding that we should delete. Well, no, between us we do. So I am now. Russell, you can't see this, but I'm going into the master sheet.
Oh yeah.
And I am deleting evil farmers. So we're raising it up into the rafter.
Yeah.
It's up there with Maggie Philbin's unmatching sleeves and Stanley Kubrick references. It is now gone.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is saved. No casual sexism that I recall. No labs of space filled with dark and star-coloured lights.
It's visually. We've entered the visually dull era. At least
we have. It's so flattened.
At least in the mid-90s, they had an attempt to with that.
Yeah,
that was the kind of like thing. Was an attempt to make things visually interesting. They don't even have that anymore, do they?
Even the last episode, which was the Christmas special, the quiz, like it's all filmed on one set, and I probably came out with like 20 images that I thought could be interesting, and then by the time I boil it down, I had 3 or 4 that I thought would make a good cover art. With this one, it's so depressing.
It's just going to be 10 pictures of flamethrowers, isn't it? I think.
Well, the whole of South Africa.
The whole of South Africa is a Dutch angle. Yeah.
No items presented from a gantry. I don't think we had any dad jokes. The episode definitely ends with a damn squib. No lasers, no magnets, no boats.
No.
Baxter doesn't bugger off, and they don't travel to Shepherd's Bush.
No, they travel to the actual bush.
I like that. Doesn't count there. And there probably are shepherds out there, but and maybe the shepherd even feels ownership of the bush they travel to, but I can't accept it. So the only thing I have left to say, Russell, is that there were 1,409 episodes of Tomorrow's World broadcast. We have now covered 59 of them. That means that there are a scant 1,350 that remain, which means that we have audited 4.187366,927% of all episodes, leaving us with a paltry 95.81263307% left to audit.
I'm so glad that you've added this extra layer of accuracy, Mark, because it did seem a bit inaccurate previously. This is the level of accuracy that our listeners deserve.
This requires scientific rigor, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was just wondering, what percentage of that remaining 95% that we haven't seen yet do you think is worse than this episode we've just seen now?
Golly, a depressingly high amount.
Do you think?
I still don't think this is the worst episode we've seen.
No, I don't think it's the worst episode we've seen.
Yeah.
But surely there's any
10 to 20%, I'd say, are worse than this.
Do you think? I reckon it's only 5%. I reckon it's only 5%.
You think it's as little? I mean,
I
would be willing to write off everything from halfway through 1997 to 2001. That's 4 years. And I suspect there are some duff ones interlaced throughout the rest.
Well,
yeah, maybe 20% is too much. Yeah, 10%.
Should we put money on it? Only payable once we've done all 1,409 episodes.
This is close to a what they called is it tontine? Know what where you put money in a thing and the last person standing wins it. Yeah, go on then. Right, so you think? I mean, we're obviously not going to record this in any meaningful way. Beyond like asking at the end of every episode, is this worse than the episode in South Africa? Yeah, all right. I'd say 10%. You say 5%?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right then. I'll take that.
I reckon so far we've only had 2 episodes that are worse than this.
Are you on glue? You think only 2?
So far that we've covered.
Golly.
I reckon Class Arson and Lars Larson.
Yeah.
And
that was awful.
Gaz Top. I reckon those 2 episodes are worse than this. I'm not sure if any.
Don't forget, a slight wrinkle in our system is that we have also watched 2 episodes that we have chosen not to audit because they were that bad.
Were they both from this era as well? They were, weren't they? I think
one was just really boring and one was from this area and just bad. Yeah.
Anyway.
At least 2 episodes. And actually, you've also looked some independently, and rejected them as well. So, nonetheless, there we go. Sorry. Yeah. So that was it from me.
Well, Mark, I've got to go because, actually, no. I mean, I think you've been having a similar, but we've been having some quite serious snowstorms over here in the Netherlands the past week. Was it Storm Paul Giamatti? Was it called? What was it called? Something like that.
Not Giamatti, something like that.
Monica Galetti? Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Monica Galetti.
Yeah. So some huge snowdrifts built up on my island, Mark. You can barely get out of the car park, but I've had an idea. I'm going to get out there, get my flamethrowers on and burn through some snowdrifts. Do my neighbourly thing and help everyone out. Yeah,
what a great thing to do in an island populated only by wooden houses.
I just hope I don't run out of gas, that's all. Yeah, so until next month, which is a very special 60th episode, if you are on the internet, we will see you tomorrow.
Tootsians!
Well, that's all we have time for in this special edition of Tomorrow's World from the South African bush.
Next week, I'll be back in the studio with Peter. So until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Diplomatic community. It's just been revoked.